I hope you're ready because this week's snapshot is gonna need a big brain. Sadly though, I'm one of those people who don't have a big brain. But that's not gonna stop me from checking out this brand new snapshot which just came out. Hello everyone, welcome back. Another video here on the channel, and this one we're gonna be checking out 20W49A. Which introduces this brand new block right here, which is called the Sculk sensor, and they just threw that in a really weird way, kind of glitched out. Yeah, we can see through the block, the entity. But anyways, that's beside the point. Here is what the brand new Sculk sensor looks like. And what exactly is the Sculk sensor, you may ask? Well, it's a brand new addition to Redstone which works using the functionality of a brand new game mechanic, which is vibrations. Without any further ado, let's get straight into how this works and what exactly are vibrations, etc. Now, if I break this tall grass block right here, you're gonna see something interesting happening to the Sculk sensor. Basically, what just happened there is that it caught a vibration, and that vibration occurred from a Minecraft event. So basically, most things that happen in Minecraft have been categorized into events such as breaking blocks, placing blocks, running around, jumping, flying with an elytra, etc., etc. There are many events now in the game, and these events could cause vibrations. And if I place a block right there, you will see something travel from where I placed the block into the Sculk sensor, and that basically is the vibration. Now, it moves quite quickly. According to the change logs, it moves at like 1 block per tick, like per in-game tick, which is really fast. So if you want to get a glimpse of it, well, I mean, it's easy to do that, but like you gotta be aware if you really want to see it. And after the vibration has been caught by the Sculk sensor gets activated, and as you can clearly see, the texture changes, the thingies that come out of it starts moving quickly, and that is because it has sensed the vibration. Basically, it got activated, and this is where the redstone bit come in. Now, if we fly over here real quickly, we've got quite the setup going on in here, so let me explain it briefly. Basically, let's start off simply by saying that any event in Minecraft is gonna cause a redstone signal to come out of the Sculk sensor. So as I said before, walking, jumping, anything is gonna cause the Sculk sensor to activate, and that activation gives it the opportunity, gives it power to power a redstone signal. Hopefully that makes sense. I couldn't really explain it that well, but yeah, redstone and stuff. I'm not really the best, but I try. The redstone signal strength that comes out of the Sculk sensor depends on from where the vibration it catches comes from. So, as you can see, I have set up a circular perimeter of wall around the Sculk sensor, detecting where it can like sense vibration. So, if I fall inside of the circle, as you can see, a vibration would has reached to the Sculk sensor and it has activated the redstone. But if I try falling from the outside, it does not detect it at all, despite me being directly in front of it. Now let's try to be closer. As you can see, it catches the vibration. In numbers, the Sculk sensor has a circular perimeter of 8 blocks, a circular radius perimeter of 8, a circular perimeter with a radius of 8 blocks. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say here. If I were to give out a vibration from directly on top of the Sculk sensor, it would give a signal strength of pretty much maximum, or like 14 blocks. And as we know, the maximum strength of redstone of a singular redstone line is 15. So yeah, if you were to give up a vibration from like directly onto the Sculk sensor, it would give up like 14 blocks, or probably the maximum of 15, and the farther away from it, the less signal strength you're gonna get until you're outside of the perimeter, of course. So let me try that. As you can see, I do not emit a vibration, and let me try removing the wool just to prove it. Yep, I'm falling and nothing is happening. A Sculk sensor can pass on a redstone signal through redstone dust, a redstone repeater, but they cannot pass on a redstone signal through blocks sideways or upwards. They can also pass on a redstone signal downwards into a block of redstone dust or something, but they cannot power like through blocks basically. So they cannot power a block, though they can power redstone components. They can also power comparators, and this works in a really unique way, and that is by detecting what sort of event the vibration that has reached to the Sculk sensor came from. So as I mentioned before, stuff like walking, jumping, flying with elytra, etc. There are a lot of events, and I'm just telling you the basics. I'm also going to show you some of them which actually work. I actually have a bit of the list here, which is shown in the Minecraft changelog. You can check out the changelog down below in the description. I have a link set up for it, but for now I'm just gonna name a few of them. So we talked about stepping. Now this gives a redstone signal of 1, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but I just saw that, yeah, sometimes it gives out a bigger signal, or maybe that is because I'm hitting the ground. So hitting the ground gives a redstone signal of 5, while stepping is the one that gives a redstone signal of 1, if the redstone signal goes through a comparator, of course, which comes out of a Sculk sensor. And ooh, there's a bee flying by. I don't wait, hold on. I need a spyglass. I need to zoom in. I have to. This is a necessity. I'm sorry. I'm getting too sidetracked, but I have to zoom in. There we go. We can see a nice little bee flying around. The Sculk sensor is actually detecting the movement of the bee, which is quite cool. Don't know why, I found that entertaining. But anyways, some more events that the Sculk sensor kind of like discriminates, or I wouldn't say discriminate. What's the word for it? I'm just gonna say discriminate, even though I just said I wouldn't want to say discriminate. Anyways, some of them is placing a block, which just gives up a strength of. Wait, I don't actually have the list on me right now, but yeah, I just know a couple off the top of my head. Opening containers gives up a redstone strength. Placing blocks and breaking them gives some. Eating, starting to eat, and finishing to eat gives up a redstone signal. So as you saw, as I start eating, a vibration comes out, and as I finish eating, a vibration comes out as well. Uh, Giving items to an armor stand also gives out a vibration. So if I give this armor stand a helmet, as you can see, vibration reaches out to the Sculk sensor. I give it a leather tunic, some chainmail armor, and some golden boots. As you can see, a vibration comes out. Stuff like flicking a lever, pressing a button also gives up a redstone signal, and casting a fishing rod as well. Apparently casting a fishing rod, because I managed to remember that off the top of my head, gives out a full 15 redstone signal, which is quite interesting. I wonder what makes a fishing rod like give up that strong of a vibration to give it that strong of a redstone signal. Some things I have found out about the Sculk sensor: apparently they do not detect vibrations from minecarts, because, well, minecarts, even when they are moving, do not actually give out vibrations, so that's interesting. I would assume that these were events as well, but I guess fair enough. It could cause lag after all, because setups like these, yeah, they never stop, so yeah, I think that was a smart move from Mojang. These blocks cannot be pushed or pulled by a piston, so if I try putting it in front of it and try retracting it, and this is clearly a sticky piston, by the way. Yeah, the Sculk sensor cannot be moved. Also, mild changes to blocks, such as turning grass into pathways and hoeing grass, does not work. And if a sheep eats the grass, it also does not detect that as well, which I find quite interesting. That could also be an event that could be added to the game, but I guess it's up to Mojang what happens in the game. And by the way, yeah, something dumb I decided to do is try to see if a redstone signal can actually be transmitted through the block itself. But well, to nobody's surprise, it does not do that, because it emits a redstone signal. Plus, it is the size of a half slab. So, yeah. Oh, and by the way, you can actually mine these in survival with a hoe as a suitable tool. You can also mine them with your fists if you wish so, but the suitable tool for them is a hoe. Two more things I'd like to point out about the Sculk sensors. First of all, placing them next to each other will not create some sort of loop. So basically, having one here, if I place this one right here and have it pass on a vibration to this one, it's not gonna pass a vibration to this one back. Basically, to prevent lag causing loops, because apparently that could cause lag on servers. So that does not work. And second of all, a whole addition to the whole vibration thing is a mechanic called occlusion, or occluding vibrations, and that is by basically using wool. Now, if you would notice, if I place or break wool, if I can speak properly first, if I can place or break wool, it does not actually give out a vibration towards the Sculk sensor, because wool is by default an occluded a block that occludes vibrations towards Sculk sensors. I'm gonna get to that in a second, because that has to do with commands as well, and tags, and some stuff which I personally can't really understand myself, but I still try my best to understand, and I think I am capable of explaining it in today's video. But basically, what happens is that, well, it gives out no vibration signal, and it also blocks all vibrations that come into the Sculk sensor. So as you can see, I have covered up the Sculk sensor from 4 sides, from the top and from 3 sides, and so basically what's gonna happen here is that vibrations are gonna be blocked from these sides where the well is at. So if I place a block or break it, this Sculk sensor does not get activated, but of course this one does. So let's just try this one because it's confusing me, and place down the block. As you can see, we did not get the sound effect, so nothing changed from the Sculk sensor, and that is because the vibration has been blocked. But if I place one directly in front of it, as you can see, the vibration did get passed on to it, because there is no occlusion happening right here. Enough of the Sculk sensors for now. Let's talk about some changes that have occurred. Now, if you remember in the previous video covering Minecraft's Caves and Cliffs snapshot, and the previous video is basically talking about 20W48A, which came out last week, we got the brand new pointed dripstone block, which has changed in my hands. That's uncomfortable, but I mean, sure, whatever. Anyways, we discovered in the last video that if you connect a stalactite and a stalagmite together in this form by basically placing pointed dripstone from downwards to upwards and from upwards to downwards, and you connect them together, you're gonna get this very texture. Now, there is a way to stop getting this texture, and that is by basically holding shift when connecting these two when connecting the two blocks up. So if I break this block right here, fall down to the ground and hold shift, I'm holding shift right now, and place the block, as you can see, the two blocks do not get connected, unlike here. So if I break this block right here, stand on the ground, not hold shift this time, and place the block, as you can see, the stalactite and the stalagmite can get connected, and I think that's a pretty good thing to happen. Then there is a minor tweak to bundles. Now, if you remember in the last snapshot as well, we got a brand new thing that happened to the bundles, or is that the snapshot before that? I don't really remember, but we got the ability to check out the bundle's fullness by hovering over it in the inventory, and as you can see, we get little tabs of, well, not tabs, like inventory slots that show us what's exactly is inside the bundle, and the fullness of it directly underneath it. Now, that you could only see that with advanced tooltips on, but the minor change that occurred is that you can see the fullness of the bundle despite whether or not you have advanced tooltips on. Now, for me, that doesn't really matter much because I usually play with advanced tooltips, but for those who don't play with advanced tooltips, yeah, you can still see the fullness of the bundle. Oh yeah, and also I did say enough of the Sculk sensor for now, but there's something I forgot to show you, and that is that the Sculk sensors can actually be waterlocked, so you can have vibrations happening all around inside of the ocean or a river or whatever, which I find pretty cool. So yeah, good luck finding a use for this thing now. Now, I did mention some changes happening in the command side and the tags and stuff like that, which I was going to cover later on, but I just realized that I'm quickly running out of time, and this video, I want this video to come out ASAP, basically, and and I have covered pretty much most of the stuff that have come out in the snapshot, but that is not the end of it. There is one more thing I'd like to show you before we end off the video, and it is not as complicated as the other stuff which I just explained, so let's get on with it. And that new feature is the addition of the Dripstone Caves biome. As you can see, these have finally been added, and of course we find some diamonds. That's beautiful, actually, that's glorious. Okay, we found some diamonds, that's cool. But that's not the main goal here. We're here to check out the Dripstone Caves biome. Now, this isn't officially out in the game. Well, technically it is officially out in the game, but like in a normal world, you're not gonna be able to find these around in your caves. The only possible way you could reach out to find these biomes, the Dripstone Cave biomes, is by generating a single biome world, and that is by basically messing around with the world generation and stuff like that. It's really simple to do. I'm not gonna really show you how to do it right now because, well, as I said before, I'm quickly running out of time, so I just want to, run around, show you the beauty of this biome. There's really not much to it. This is just the smallest little kind of branch mine I found of it, but here seems like it extends a lot more here, and basically, and I found some copper. That's pretty cool. Yeah, these biomes are pretty much the only single place where you can find the dripstone and the pointed dripstone, and this is actually really cool to like pass on by. Like, it's really riggedy, and like it's really satisfying just to walk through. It feels like Mojang has already given the cave so much more life. It's insane. I'm actually really loving it, and I love ledges like these. Like, we've got this little ravine here, and just looking through into these branches with the dripstone and stuff, it feels so comfortable and a lot more alive. And I already feel like caves are just gonna be like 20 times even more interesting, and there's still a lot more to come. We've got lush caves, we've got more cave biomes which you haven't gotten yet, so this all is really interesting. And that is all that has been added in today's snapshot, and that will be the end of today's video. So if you guys did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like. Also consider subscribing, as that is greatly appreciated. Don't forget to follow my Instagram and the other Instagram names right here on the screen. And for now, I'll see you guys in the next video. I totally didn't mean to break that block. Anyways, farewell, lads.